Hello friends, and welcome back to the garden again. This species spotlight is on the live oak. You know, you really couldn't ask for a better canopy tree for Florida, Central Florida, North Florida than the live oak. I mean, maybe ideally if you could plant your food forest in an old pecan orchard that had enough dead trees or missing trees, or if you took out a few trees, you know, that you'd get enough light in the orchard, that might be best because it produces you know, a food crop in the canopy. Now with live oaks, it actually does produce a food crop in the canopy, the acorns. Indigenous people ate acorns and they had to process them to get the tannins out, but there's loads of food up there in that tree. Of course, people are familiar with using the acorns to feed wildlife and even domestic animals like hogs or something. But here the squirrels are eating the acorns. And then the leaves of the tree itself is also food for over 300 species of moths and butterflies lay their eggs in live oaks. And they're considered a keystone species much because of that, for that reason. Because all those caterpillars of all those moths and butterflies also serve as food for the birds. So live oaks are an excellent tree in so many different ways. As you see this video, these 9 live oaks that I have in my yard, 5 of them are live oaks and the 4 grouped together right there, those are sand live oaks. Sand live oaks are pretty much the same as the live oaks in terms of their you know, effect on the food forest and their value in the food forest. They're a little bit more drought tolerant than live oaks, and they don't get quite as big as live oaks, but both trees get to be over 30 feet tall and become part of the canopy. As you look at this video, look at all these leaves on these 9 trees. And this is 1/3 of an acre here. Every single one of those leaves will fall to the ground by March, April at the latest. So February and March, most of them will fall, will drop, but they never look like a normal deciduous tree because the new leaves are coming on right behind them. And so the trees never look bare. Now let's think about that. We have real sandy soil here in Florida. We have some of our lowest rainfall and hottest temperatures of the year in March and April. So wouldn't it be nice if somebody came into our gardens and just unloaded a whole bunch of mulch right around April 1st, so all of our plants would have that moisture retention and coolness in the soil from all that mulch. Well, the thing about it is that's exactly what these trees do. They don't drop their leaves in the fall like normal deciduous trees further up north. These wait and they drop them in the spring. I don't think that's by accident. I think nature knows, you know, quote, nature knows that the best way to increase productivity and have the highest diversity and productivity in a forest is for the leaf drop to happen in the spring, not the fall. So that's exactly what they do. Interesting timing, perfect timing. Every one of those trees will be dropped to the ground. So I've been bringing in free mulch that I'm able to find here and there, mostly on the side of the road where people just bag up their leaves and put their yard waste out there. That's what I've been using to get my food forest up to a good start and get a lot of mulch on the ground. But come February or so, March, all of these leaves are going to join all the work that I've done and drop to the ground here. That's going to go a long ways to speed up the process of succession, to move this from what was just a mowed lawn with these large trees and nothing else to a food forest that's going to be shady and cool and a nice forest throughout this entire yard. So yeah, I'm gonna try to help them out by bringing in mulch. I put the mulch right around each individual plant, and it's hard for me to come up with enough mulch to cover everything. And as I discussed in a previous video, I really don't want to cover many areas with mulch yet where I don't have plants planted yet, because I need that green and that sugars going into the ground. But over time, I'll get more and more plants in the ground, and eventually this entire yard will be a mulched forest, and all of these trees will be bigger and casting a lot more shade. You know, the jujube and the chestnuts that I have here, the Dunstan chestnuts, and these mulberries, and you know, my Japanese persimmons, and all the other trees, even the smaller ones, the plums and the peaches, and some other bigger, even evergreen ones like the loquats. All the trees are going to grow up into a forest, and at that point, a forest should have a mulchy forest floor. It shouldn't have a lot of grass, and I don't have to worry about removing the grass because it's not going to grow well in that shade. So that's the vision. That's what we're trying to achieve as soon as possible. And by planting this food forest in an area that's already got the canopy trees, and by those canopy trees being live oak trees, this is ideal. This is what's really going to help make this happen quickly. So that's partly why we're doing this YouTube channel, is to document. This garden started getting planted 9 months ago, and over the course of time, I'll be documenting exactly how fast we transition this grassy lawn with a few big trees in it over to a full-fledged shady food forest, producing food and providing habitat. So again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have canopy trees. And in Central and North Florida, the live oak is the best canopy tree you can possibly have. Okay, that's it for now. Love the live oaks. Take care, y'all.